What's up, dog? So you got your ass kicked and now you're here to learn how to build a solid defense. Well, that's good because I got a step-by-step guide to put you on easy street. Step 1, pull out your credit card. Step 2, develop a gambling addiction and take out a second mortgage. And step 3, subscribe to my videos. Alright, enough bullshit out of the way. I made a checklist here for you guys to build a solid defense, so make sure you guys have this on every team. These are in no particular order, and I'm going to put some on-screen suggestions of what you should use, just to save some time. We don't need this video to be a half hour long. Alright, number 1. You need a tank who can actually tank. Not a hybrid tank that you're going to try to gear out to do damage. Not a fighter in tank gear. Not a marksman in tank gear. You need a tank that can take a lot of damage. If it has an unkillable state, that's your go-to. And if it has a lord skill, that's even better. Alright, number 2. You need a healer. I know, big brain stuff here. The types of healers you're going to want are going to be ones with death prevention, like Lily, like Carnelian, like Ezreal, who can prevent one-shots. Alright, if you don't have those, you just want really good single target healer, somebody to keep your tank alive. Healers to stay away from are the AoE healers like Aelin, like Dio-chan, like Sadie. Now let's get into damage and making sure that we have enough coverage to cover all the different demon soldiers. You're gonna need one single target nuke to deal with mauls, to deal with chickens, to split up doubles, and whatever else. You're going to want to position these units behind the tank and make sure that they survive bookkeepers. You're also going to want 2 anti-air and make sure that these are placed behind the tank out of range of garnet guards. And then you're going to want 2 AoE units. Now you may be thinking, Grim, how am I supposed to fill 7 roles with 5 units? Well, that's where the challenge of GvG comes in. You have to be able to find units with dual purpose in order to build a strong defense. So, look for a fighter that can do anti-air damage. Find an AoE that's also good at anti-air. Find a single target that can also do AoE damage. Things like this. And sometimes, even when you fill all of these roles, it still might not be enough. You're going to want to implement some crowd control to slow everything down so that you have ample time to kill these things. So understanding your coverage and getting creative with it and positioning the units correctly is what's going to build you the best possible defense and bring you home the wins. Alright, so let's run through a couple demos here. I guess before I do that, I should talk about the off-faction units that are good on any team. So like Ardia can be pretty much placed on most teams. Ymrit can be placed on literally any team. Valera placed on any team. Praetus, Ingrid, of course, any team. For this, I'm going to try not to use ancient exclusives, just to demonstrate that this can be done without them. So let's go ahead and find a tank. Alright, so lots of options here. Toro and Cyrus would obviously be your go-to choices if you have them. We're not going to use ancients. Toro, I mean, I guess he's not ancient. I could use him. But for the purposes of this, I'm going to select Broke here. Dre's not bad at all. Regulus isn't bad at all. Hars is terrible. He just can't tank as well. And Malvira, she's decent. Olag and Rox are okay. Take a look at healers. Who do we got? A lot of people's first instincts would be to grab Elowen because she's quote-unquote good in everything. But for GvG, not so much because of her range. It puts her in some pretty compromising positioning for GvG. So try to avoid her if you have to put her in some dicey situations. Narissa, don't use her because of her ult. She'll stop healing and your tank will die. AoE, AoE, AoE. Karn would be your go-to choice if you do have her. She pairs really well with Dre actually, because she can give your whole team the death prevention, and then Dre can keep them healed up to 100%, as Karn can only heal up to about 40%, I think. Anyways, I'll go ahead and I'll grab a healer. Probably Lily. Everybody has Lily. Lily has a death save, as you can see here. Then we're going to take a look at our damage. So, not using Ancients. I'm kind of thinking about using Nez, because he can do anti-air, single target, and AoE. And then that's one ground unit. We should do the rest on platform. Ingrid is super good, but we're not going to use her. Honora is great if she's bonded, because she can cover AoE and anti-air, and she also has that crowd control, which is from the bond. And if we pair that with Morgan as our Lord, she's going to do a ton of damage. Realistically, with a team like this, you would want Cyrus as your Lord, because you have a lot of ESO units here. Alright, so positioning like this, your tank has a few different spots to go to. He can go here. Okay, this allows you to have safe spots here, here, and these back two tiles. Okay, so it looks something like this. If you have Nez, then you can plop here, put Honora here, and put Morgan there. Healer. Keep everybody up. This will be a solid defensive against most things. Chicken might get through, but you know, you never know. Morgan has a really good Lord skill to increase damage on units that have been CC'd, so that's really great with bonded Honora. And if you don't have Nez, then you could always use this back tile here for any fighters that have longer range. Face them down this way, and your long range fighter can attack units here. But other units like Yimrit can be placed here, but they're only going to hit this tile when they ult, so keep that in mind. Something else that you could try might be something like this. I'm not a huge fan of this, because when the units come down, they have a long time to kind of group up before your team can actually start killing them. Very easy to get swarmed when you're in the back line here. But this would work against some things, but if you're in this position, you might as well opt for the former. Now let's set up a team 2 here. And this one, let's actually go with Torador Wukong as your nuke. We had that hat suit. Maybe even Ajax if you have him. It's not, you know, the perfect unit for this, but you know. But I think it'll work out fine. And then we need a healer. Let's grab I mean, I would love to grab Karn for this, but since we're doing non-exclusives, let's just run Hollow. And then for this one, you could actually run it like this with a Wukong in the back with tons of HP. HP is going to be super important to survive the bookkeepers. Damage reduction is recommended if you run this strat. Put your Hatsuit there, Ajax there, and then Hollow here. So there you go. Something that you can run if you don't have the most busted ancient exclusives. If you do, you know, you can obviously sub in whatever you need on these comps. But there's tons of options. Just be creative with it. Ask questions and do some testing in your sandbox. I'm going to make a video specifically for how to test your defense next. So stay tuned for that. Should be out in a day or two. And until next time, take care.